When the Zorvani envoy ship descended over Lake Geneva, humanity held its collective breath. The ship glided down like a silver tear, silent and magnificent, its surface reflecting sunlight into the flags of every nation fluttering along the UN plaza. The crowd below erupted into cheers. Reporters screamed into microphones. Drones swarmed the sky to capture history in 8K. For exactly 7 minutes, Earth was united until someone in an orange vest shouted, "Wait, do they have a landing permit?" Panic spread faster than a conspiracy theory. Within minutes, airport control had classified the Zorvani as an unregistered aerial vehicle, and Swiss airspace authorities demanded proof of insurance. The aliens, unaware of this escalating confusion, transmitted a holographic greeting, a glowing orb that expanded to reveal an image of the galaxy's core, radiant, peaceful, and absolutely non-compliant with local radiation limits. Security promptly cordoned off the area. The greeting orb was confiscated for radiation safety testing, with results expected in 12 to 18 months. The Zorvani captain, still hovering patiently, was informed via radio that their entry visa had been misfiled under Zuvanian livestock imports, and they'd need to fill out Form 1738C to correct it. Unfortunately, the form was only available in French, PDF, and Comic Sans. Inside the UN building, chaos reigned. Half the delegation argued over whether alien ambassadors fell under foreign dignitaries or hazardous imports. The other half debated whether the first meeting should take place indoors or outdoors, since no one could find the first contact climate control policy. A 42-person committee was immediately formed to discuss the shape of the welcome table back on the ship. The Zorvani ambassador calmly noted in his log, "Initial reception indicates high intelligence, low coordination, proceeding with caution." Hours later, a human spokesperson appeared before the press. Smiling stiffly, he declared, "We are thrilled to welcome our new interstellar friends to Earth. Once the appropriate permits are processed, we look forward to a long and fruitful relationship." And thus, diplomatic history officially began, pending approval. The Zorvani were finally escorted into the United Nations headquarters on the third day of their temporary terrestrial pause. The delay, according to the official statement, was due to weather-related paperwork. Geneva had been sunny the entire week inside. The aliens were led to a conference room labeled C113B, which also doubled as a storage area for unused flags and a broken water dispenser. A human liaison named Derek, armed with an overconfident smile and a clipboard thicker than a neutron star, welcomed them. "We're so excited to have you. Just a few forms before we can start diplomacy." The ambassador blinked, puzzled. "Forms?" Derek beamed. "Yes, Form 217A. Acknowledgement of intent to communicate across species lines, and 217B, the supplementary form confirming you understand 217A. Within the hour, the Zorvani discovered humanity's most dangerous weapon, administration. They filled out documents requiring signatures, then signed forms confirming those signatures were valid, only to be told they'd used the wrong pen. Blue ink wasn't authorized for interdepartmental use. The translator unit, once fluent in 12,000 dialects, began stuttering every time it encountered the phrase, "We'll get back to you shortly." The aliens attempted to present their Treaty of Universal Harmony. The human delegation requested an itemized budget and an environmental impact assessment. When the Zorvani offered a crystalline peace orb as a gesture of goodwill, Customs flagged it for import tax review. "It's glowing," one officer noted. "That's usually an extra fee." Hours passed. Days blurred. A new subcommittee was formed to review whether aliens qualified as entities or guests. The Department of Intergalactic Relations accidentally merged its database with the Wildlife Protection Registry, resulting in the ambassador's passport being tagged as endangered. Desperate, the Zorvani tried appealing to higher authority. They were told to contact Jeff from accounting, the only man with final sign-off on interdepartmental transfers. Jeff was on vacation. His out-of-office reply read, "Please direct all urgent planetary matters to my assistant, who is also on vacation." By week's end, the ambassador's eye ridges drooped. His aide had developed a caffeine addiction. The once pristine envoy ship now parked in a restricted vehicle zone, receiving hourly parking fines they couldn't contest without a citizen ID number. Still, humanity smiled, shook hands, and said cheerfully, "Progress is being made." Somewhere deep in the UN's labyrinth of offices, a printer jammed again, marking the true sound of diplomacy on Earth. By week 6, the Zorvani delegation had fully adapted to Earth's most incomprehensible ecosystem, bureaucracy. The ambassador no longer floated majestically. He shuffled. His translator had replaced its greeting phrase, "Peace to your soul, cluster," with a monotone, "Next, please." They had been transferred to 8 departments, reclassified as a non-human nonprofit, and told to apply for tax-exempt status under Section 14C, Sentient Visitors of Probable Benevolence. The only problem? The form was only available in paper format, to be collected in person from Window 12B. Window 12B was located behind a locked door marked, "Do not enter, staff only." The key holder? A man named Randy, who was working remotely that week. The aliens began holding meditation sessions in the waiting area. The janitor joined them, so did Derek from day one, now demoted to interim interspecies paperwork facilitator. Together, they sat in silence beneath a flickering fluorescent light that hummed like the universe sighing. At last, after immense perseverance and a public complaint on social media, which gained 4.3 million likes and the hashtag #LetThemLand, the Zorvani were invited to sign the Treaty of Interplanetary Cooperation. The ceremony took place in Conference Hall A, which had been double-booked for a budget review workshop. Half the audience clapped politely, while the other half discussed lunch catering options. When the moment arrived, the ambassador extended his hand, a gesture of galactic peace, and the lead human diplomat slid a stack of documents toward him. "Please initial here, here, and here, and again on page 47 if you're agreeing to Clause 9B, non-refundable alliance fees." The ambassador froze. "Refundable?" "Non-refundable," replied the diplomat. "It's policy." 30 minutes later, the treaty was complete. Cameras flashed, hands shook, and the press celebrated a historic leap toward interstellar friendship. Meanwhile, Martha from Legal whispered to Derek, "You'll need to renew this every 30 days. The ambassador overheard. His translator stuttered. The color drained from his exoskeleton. Every 30 days?" "Yes, for compliance," Martha said cheerfully. "Otherwise, the whole thing resets." Silence. Long, terrible silence. Then, without a word, the Zorvani gathered their forms, stood up, and left. 2 hours later, Geneva's skies lit up with blue flame as the envoy ship departed orbit, slowly, gracefully, and with what could only be described as disappointment at the species level. At the post-departure press briefing, a UN spokesperson beamed proudly. "We're thrilled to announce that Earth's first alien visitors have successfully completed the pilot phase of our intergalactic diplomacy process." In orbit, the Zorvani commander asked the exhausted ambassador, "Are they dangerous?" The ambassador stared out the viewport, watching the tiny blue planet shrink behind them. "Yes," he whispered. "They weaponized paperwork.